Hello and welcome to my review of the Necrons Psychomancer. This model will set you back £21, making him the most expensive Cryptek unit available right now. I'm not sure how much the Chronomancer will cost whenever Games Workshop decide to release it separately. It will be released in a few weeks in the Kill Team box set. But my money is either on it being £21 or even pushing that £22 or £23 mark. I hope he is just £21 though. This Cryptek, the Psychomancer, is £1 more than the normal Necron Cryptek, who is now called the Technomancer. He was released in the Forgebane set from about almost 3 years ago, March 2018. There are a number of Crypteks now. There is this Psychomancer, there's the Technomancer right here, there's the Plasmancer that was found in the Indomitus box set and is not yet available separately, but my guess is he's going to be about £20. And the Chronomancer, who is due to be released in the Kill Team set and possibly individually. So what we'll do is we'll have a closer look at this model. It certainly reminds me of like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man with these long tendril type appendages. I think there is only two. This one goes down to the floor, snakes back up. They both drop down to the floor. This one snakes around and starts assimilating this digital type skull pattern, and the other one again does the same from the other side. He's also got this strange like crooked hand thing and a really long staff. Now I think I mentioned in the unboxing that his staff may well be longer than the Silent King's. I can confirm that's not true. We'll do a little size comparison later and I will just point that out. But yeah, lovely looking model, one of the best. I'm not sure whether I prefer this one or the Chronomancer, really. I'd probably say the Chronomancer, just because I like the cube things that he's got going on. But this one is pretty nice as well, with this digital type of effect being manifested. The staff is nice and long, with a long shaft, and he doesn't really have any leg. He's just got these long type snake-like appendages, tails if you wish, jutting from his body, and he's got these little, and he's got like a little cutting tool thing on his tail. He's got a very long chin, as is the case with all of the other Cryptek. Chin wise, I'd probably say that the Plasmancer has a slightly longer chin, but they're both definitely longer than the Technomancer. Anyway, there's a fair amount of detail on this kit everywhere. You know, on the back, the little indents, and the way he's just hovering there. It is an absolute pain to put together. Let me just tell you that right now. He is definitely up there with Xerath and Zarek, Silent King, as the three most difficult Necron models to construct. Although the Void Dragon looks like it would be the most difficult, it's not. Neither is the Monolith, nor any of the other new kits. We'll find out just how difficult the Chronomancer is, as that's most likely going to be the last, I say, complicated kit that they bring out for Necrons. But I will discuss that when Kill Team's released. Anyway, really happy with this model. It's everything I hoped and dreamed for. Yeah, the price is, I think the price is a touch too high, but then again, you are getting a decent number of parts with this one, and it's a challenge to build, so you'll get your money's worth that way rather than the number of parts and the amount of plastic. And it's definitely less boring looking than the Technomancer. Sorry for all you Technomancing fans out there. I still think it's a fantastic looking model. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It's just this one is a more interesting build and look, in my humble opinion. So that's the Plasmancer. No spare parts. It's a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Let's just compare those Crypteks. So there's the Plasmancer. There's the Technomancer. They're all Crypteks. There's just one more to get, which is the Chronomancer. I think Games Workshop are releasing a fifth one, another Cryptek. as like a store anniversary or whatever, but yeah, I'm not sure when and if that is going to be for general release anytime soon. So there's the 3 out of the 4. My favourite so far has to be the Psychomancer. Out of all of them, that crown may be taken by the Chronomancer when he's released in a few weeks. So other size comparisons. So I already mentioned Xerath. Here he is, another very difficult model to build. So that's where he stands next to Xerath. You've got an Overlord right here, and you've got a Necron Warrior, and then we've got Zarak himself. Now this is the comparison I wanted to make earlier in terms of the staffs. Look at that. Zarak's staff is, I don't know whether we can do it that way, yeah, is a touch taller. So Zarak still has the longest staff if you don't really include Xerath's staff. But there we go, I thought I'd have a staff off, as it were, and give you a little comparison with the size of these HQs, because all of the Cryptex are HQ choices. This is the Doomstalker, one of the tallest models in the Necron range now, and that's where the Psychomancer stands next to one of those. These Doomstalkers still very War of the World-esque and do tower above many of your Necron warriors. The usual size comparisons then, the usual 3 suspects, the good, the bad and the ugly. You've got Slime Arbor in the middle, normal Space Marine on the left, and a Primaris Space Marine on the right. So the Psychomancer will still tower above a heavy, will still tower above a predominantly Primaris force and its HQs. So the very last thing left for me to do is just go through all of the rules for the Psychomancer. You'll find him in your HQ section in your brand new Necron 9th edition Codex. He's a power points cost of 4 and a points cost of 70. The Plasmancer is also the same points cost at 70, although the Chronomancer is 80 points and the Technomancer could go up to 90 points depending on the war gear you equip him with. But I think the main thing to take away from this is all of these Cryptex are power points cost of 4. So how does his stat line look then? Well, he has a movement of 5 inches, his weapon skill and ballistic skill are both 3+, strength, toughness and wounds are all 4, but 1 attack, leadership 10 and a save of 4+. That is exactly the same stat line as the Technomancer and the Plasmancer, although the Chronomancer, it's worth noting that his movement speed is 8 inches, so a fast unit there. The Psychomancer is equipped with Abyssal Lance. It's got a shooting and a melee profile. The shooting attack is an 18-inch range, assault 3, strength 4, AP -3, damage 1. It's very nice. If you're going against toughness 4 or toughness 3, decent range, it's a solid number of shots and you're getting that armor penetration of -3. In melee, it's the same strength of the user, which is 4, same armor penetration, same damage. So it's a little bit weak against higher strength units and a large number of units and hordes. Abilities: Living Metal, Command Protocols, Dynastic or Dynastic Advisors. If your army is Battleforged, then for each Cryptek unit, excluding Dynastic agents, included in a detachment that also contains at least 1 noble unit, a second Cryptek unit, excluding Dynastic agent units, can be included in that detachment without taking up an additional battlefield role slot. That's fantastic. So you can just add the other Cryptex without taking up the hallowed HQ slot. Harbinger of Despair. In your morale phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of this model and roll 3d6. If the result is greater than the enemy unit's leadership characteristic, select one of the results opposite to take effect until the start of your next morale phase. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once per phase. So that's fantastic. Within 12 inches, they're going to be affected by these results. And getting over the 8 or 9 or even 10 leadership on 3d6 isn't too difficult. And now here are the results. The selected unit cannot perform actions. If that unit is currently performing an action, it immediately fails. The selected unit loses the objective secured ability. Halve advance rolls and charge rolls made for the selected unit. And the selected unit cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend and is not eligible to fight in the fight phase until after all eligible units from your army have done so. Very, very nice sneaky effect there. It's worth remembering, like all of the other Cryptek abilities. Nightmare Shroud, Aura. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models in that unit and subtract 1 from combat attrition tests taken for that unit. So that's quite nice. So if you're within 6 inches, I mean, it does suck that it's within 6 inches because that's very, very close. He's got to be in melee. He's pretty much almost got to be on top of your enemy or in melee for this to affect it. But it's nice that it will take 1 off their leadership, and then that can, yeah, conversely be used in combination with Harbinger of Despair to debuff close units. The keywords: Necrons, Infantry, Character, Fly, Cryptek and Psychomancer. So there you go, that is the Psychomancer. He's definitely not as damaging as from range and melee as all of the others, but the debuffs are fantastic. You know, cutting off the action straight away, enemy units not firing Overwatch, losing objective secured, and just lowering the leadership of enemy models. I wouldn't pit him against high toughness enemies at all, and I wouldn't just put him out there alone, unless you wanted to take a cheap HQ just to fill up the HQ slot. But the thing is with Necrons, there's so many very decent HQ choices that this one would mainly be used to aid and buff your other much stronger HQ units, like an Overlord or a Scorpek Lord. But what do you guys think of the Psychomancer in terms of the model and the rules? Very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions. As always, please do put them in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Silent King protects.